Okay. So I came completely unprepared today. I'm not going to lie. So I asked ChatGPT to ask me some questions that a buyer would like to know if they're buying a home. So buying a home, and the first question is, what are the biggest mistakes first-time home buyers make? And my opinion is that a lot of the times first-time home buyers have a list of like things they want, but not necessarily their need. And your first home is not always going to be your dream home. It could be some cases, but it's not all the time. So once you get the pre-approval and you realize that that's not the price point that you were looking at when you were searching on Zillow, that's kind of where it gets a little bit harder, because that's where a lot of my buyers make mistakes, that they're still searching for things that they want and not just what they need. So it may take them a little bit longer to lower their expectations. I know it may sound ugly, but your first home is not always your dream home, and that's okay. We have to focus on what do you actually need. Do you need a 3 bedroom? Do you need a decent size because you have pets, etc.? So that is the first mistake that a lot of first time home buyers have. They have higher expectations and their pre approval cannot meet that. So just kind of making realistic expectations and focusing on what you need, not what you want. And if you can get what you want, then that's amazing for you. So that's the first one. And then two, how much money do you really need to buy a home? So this is the first thing that most of the buyers that reach out to me ask me, and it's a little bit hard, but I'm going to run a scenario, because the reason I say it's hard is because it's a percentage of the total price of the home. So if you're a first time home buyer, a lot of the times you're going to start off with an FHA loan, and that's only because it's easier to get the requirements are easier, and the interest rate is usually lower. So with that being said, if you're a first time home buyer and you're looking to buy a home in the 300,000 with an FHA loan, is usually 3.5% down. So if you're at 300,000, and so your down payment for a $300,000 home is going to be 10,500. So that's the first thing you need, your down payment. Secondly, you need your closing costs. And a lot of the times, this is what a lot of people don't expect. Closing costs is additional. It's your lender fees, title fees, your taxes up front, and your insurance up front for the first year. So you also need to be calculating that. And that is 3 to 4%. It can be up to 6% more of the sales price. And that's just going to depend on the area the home is, because the taxes and insurance will definitely impact your closing costs. So with that being said, if you're looking for a home in the 300,000, maybe you'll need about $10,000 to $15,000 additional for your closing costs, and that's about maybe $25,000. I know it sounds like a lot of money, and if you don't have it, it's okay, because there's down payment assistance programs, and because we are in a buyer's market, a lot of the sellers are already considering to pay some of your closing costs. So that will bring that 25,000 down to, it can be just your down payment, or it could just be your down payment and half of your closing costs. So that is how much money you really need. It's, like I said, it's really hard to really say that without a pre-approval, but that's just kind of like a ballpark of what you need to save if you're looking at a $300,000 home. Now, my number three. Um, Let me see. Should buyers wait for interest rate to drop before buying? Hmm, I don't think so. And the reason I say no is because you can always refinance in the future. And usually, at the time that you buy, it's going to be the lowest price you're going to get that home. So if you can afford the mortgage, then the interest rate you can refinance in the future if they come down, and your mortgage will, be lower. So one of the really cool things, I'm working with the bank right now, and they're doing they give you like a 3-year period where you can refinance the loan for free if the interest rates drop. So you can always look into an option like that, because refinancing, you do have closing costs with refinancing. So if it makes sense for you, then you can refinance the home in the future. And let's see. Okay, you could cut it there. How many minutes has it been?
6.
Okay.
You want me to?
I was on 3, right? Yeah. We can do more. I was just like, I just kind of wanted a time. Okay, one of the other questions is, how can you make your offer stand out in a competitive market? I'm going to kind of just go over that very quickly, because we're not in a competitive market right now. Um, So if you want your offer to stand out, obviously offering more money, but another thing that can help you is an inspection period time frame. So usually the first week you go under contract, it's you ask for a 7 day 7 to 10 days option period, and that just gives you time to research on the home, do a home inspection, see if you want to move forward, renegotiate, etc. So if it's a competitive market, sellers obviously want to know, how serious are you going to move forward or not? So one of the my strategies is to drop down the option period, which instead of 7 to 10 days, do like 5 days. And I've done 3 days. It's possible. You're just like literally on a time frame. But sellers love that because in 3 days you're gonna let them know if you're moving forward or if you're canceling, and they just have to find another buyer. So that's my quick one right there. What are hidden costs of buying a home? I don't really know how to answer that because for me, whenever I first purchased my home, I already expected to be maintenance costs. So I guess a hidden cost would be the maintenance, like if your AC goes down or you have a roof leak or something that didn't come out on the inspection that happens over time. Um, I guess you could see that as a hidden cost. But for me, it's never hurt me to actually pay for anything for my house because I've always loved my homes and I like to take care of them because whenever I do sell them, I want them to be worth, the max amount. And you can tell when sellers don't take care of their homes. And my last one is, should you buy a home that needs work or one that's move-in ready? Hmm. This is really like a preference thing. If you have the money to invest in the home, cosmetic things, and you have a certain vision for your home, then you could go that route. But if you don't have any money to invest in the home and you just want to focus on buying new furniture and all the fun things, then go with the move in ready home. So it's definitely going to be how much funds you have to be able to invest in this home as soon as you move in. So that's kind of going to be the question. But yeah, those are the questions ChatGPT thinks buyers want to know.